Could you tell us a little bit more about your company and what you work within?
Very happy to do that. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I think this is an excellent conference, and to have this amount of people come together as community is amazing. As for RTI is the world's largest neutral international network. And what does it mean to be the largest? We have 38,110 kilometers of owned fiber optic cable that go under the ocean. They connect to 3 continents, 7 cities, and including here in Australia. We'll talk about those specifically. And what does it mean to be neutral? Neutral means that we connect into neutral data centers, and anybody can connect to us there. So we don't do business with just any certain category of companies. We do business with everyone, and so we don't discriminate based on whether they're carriers or operators or enterprise, and we don't discriminate based on this size, whether they're buying something small or something large. In total, we've got about $500 million US invested in international networks, and I run the company day to day.
Now at ADAPT, we have been talking about one of the core competencies, which is to drive innovation and transformation. It would be interesting to understand how, as a networking operator, you actually enable innovation and transformation at the front end of the business.
Yeah, happy to talk about that. First of all, only last year, maybe a year and a half ago, Australia was the most connected country on the planet domestically with the least amount of international connectivity. So good luck sending a file from Perth to Sydney, but if you wanted to go from Sydney to the rest of the world, then it's very difficult, right? In some cases, in other countries, you have data caps, but there's not enough international capacity until the last year and a half. And since that's last over a year and a half has been 176 terabits are getting connected to Australia from various countries, including Singapore and the United States. So when it comes to, first of all, being able to do innovation, you have to deliver services to different places in a new way. And as far as RTI is concerned, we landed the first new fiber optic cable ever on the east coast of Australia into Maroochydore, the Sunshine Coast. So actually, as we speak, the final tests are being done, but it's run perfectly for 3 weeks now, and so we'll put out a press release in the coming days that will show that after 5 years of work, we are passing traffic directly into the Sunshine Coast and to Sydney as well. So that network connects directly from Sydney and Sunshine Coast to Guam and then on to the rest of Asia. So why is that significant? Well, right now there's COVID-19, right? CV-19, and you have other national emergencies. You have bushfires and the things that create emergency services, the need for dependable emergency services. Right now, there are only a limited number of terrestrial routes between Sydney and Brisbane. So what we have built, in addition to landing our cable in Sydney, is we have another direct route that goes wet out to the ocean between Sydney and then comes into Sunshine Coast. And so not just for emergency services, but also for defense, for security, network security, all the things that are critical to governments and enterprises and carriers. So we allow another option for diversity. So the first thing in order to innovate is diversity. You have to have some diverse network. Most of the big, large content providers have a minimum, if they can get a minimum of 6 or 7 different networks. But they'll take any number that they can get. The bigger carriers always have 3 different, when I say diverse, I mean physically diverse networks. And that's critical because force majeure events, flus and epidemics and floods and tsunamis and fires are becoming more common. So, and if these companies can't deliver traffic during an emergency situation, then they just get out of business. The market's fairly brutal. So that's the first way. And the second way another way in which we deliver innovation is through how customers procure our services. So for an industry that delivers the world's latest and greatest in terms of automation and technology, it is the worst at how we do business bilaterally. It's face-to-face and it's contracts, and I understand that. I come from a background of relationships, and RTI is connecting into different cultures and different countries and different geopolitical environments. However, much of the face-to-face can be done away with and procured online through automation. In fact, this is a perfect example at this time, at this point in time, and when we're having this conference. so much of the needs for telecommunication services, whether it's fiber or big files or small files or just emergency video conferences, should be able to be procured online and immediately. And so RTI is also delivering that. And we're made up of, even though we've got a large sum of money invested, we're made up of really just 10 subject matter experts and about 30 people in total. So again, first thing is delivering diverse services with the latest and greatest 100 gig technology, which is turning up as we speak. And the second is diverse locations that are new to landings. And then the last is making sure that we deliver and allow customers procure in a unique way that makes it a much more efficient process.
How are you able to manage the changes that happen at a government level? And currently with the geopolitical scenario, is it really affecting business? Do you have to change your strategies or the way you liaise with government?
Well, it's a great question. We'll take two of our cables right now are pending into China. So they go through the PRC, People's Republic of China waters into Hong Kong. And the only way to deal with governments, my government of the United States and the government of China, is transparency, as unusual as it sounds. So when we do a strategic contract to make sure that the process works the way it should, we have to go to what amounts to the Communist Party and show them a copy of the contract, make sure that everybody approves that within that regime, and then take that same contract to the U.S. government agencies and have them approve it. So when we're working on those really important types of contracts that are really the bedrock for us as a company, they take a long time, take about 2.5 years. So the way that you get those done is, unfortunately, we're coming up on 6 million miles of air travel, and our team is, we always joke that our office suite is 23B, which is a seat on any airline that's going in a different direction. So travel you have to be willing to travel. Those types of things have to be done face to face because there are different cultures. And then you have to find a unique team that has the ability to go in and out of these cultures and understand the culture and relate to them. So we've made a team up of, it's a very diverse team of Singaporean, Scottish, Welsh, American, Chinese, Japanese, and Guamanian, and that's of 30. So it is super diverse. And as far as women in our company, the three most strategic positions, our general counsel, our chief commercial officer, and our controller, are all very powerful women that make day-to-day decisions for the company.